From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Kent's Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Krueger here. We did see some of those showers yesterday with quite a bit of rainfall, as a matter of fact. Of course, things have dried out at this point. Take a look at the rainfall totals over the last 2 days. Did see about an inch to upwards, even over an inch and a half. Parts of Willows did actually see over 2 inches of rain, depending on where you are. You'll see a couple of bullseyes kind of on the west and east side of the valley into the foothills. And then, as expected, you kind of get outside of where the valley is into the mountains. You start seeing less and less of that rain. Snow levels, by the way, did drop down to as low as about 4,500 feet. There are places like Chester and Westwood, for example, that did get to see a little bit of snow. No chain requirements this morning, at least in the North State, but out towards the Tahoe region, there are still some chain requirements there. So just be aware of that, especially if you do drive a big rig. There is a beach hazard statement that has been issued for tonight through Friday night, basically due to the risk for sneaker waves. All right, let's get you into your Krueger's Quick Cast for your Thursday, February 12th. We're almost in the middle of the month, aren't we? All right, let's get you out the door here for this morning. We're going to kind of clear things out. Now, there are some clouds to our north and west that'll move in. And with some of the showers we've seen over the last few days, ground is pretty saturated. So some of those mountain valleys may see some of that patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, the area of low pressure is moving out. You'll see the clouds to our north and west that are moving in today. So we'll keep it partly cloudy. But the winds, there are going to be looking at a little bit of a north breeze, especially on the southeast side of the valley near the Chico area. But generally, nothing too terribly strong with those winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And in some areas, maybe a little bit stronger than that. Rain chances are diminishing today, tomorrow, and Saturday. But as we go through the day on Sunday, and especially early next week, the chances for rain will really start to increase. All right, here's what we have in store for us today. We are going to be looking at temperatures in the low to mid 60s in the valley. So it's warming up. It's going to be more spring-like. Pretty much across the board, 50s for many of the higher elevations today. And tonight, it's going to cool off a bit. We'll call them mid to upper 30s in the valley, teens, and mainly a lot of 20s to the north and east, and some 30s out in Trinity County and for the inland areas. And how about those upper 30s to low 40s for the coast? All right, there's your 7-day outlook. As mentioned, we're keeping it dry through Saturday. I've got chances for rain in there on Sunday. Some of the models are kind of really pushing back on that timing. So it's really early next week that I think we're going to see the bulk of that rain and the start of that rain really begin to kind of kick on in. But the places like the coast and inland and Trinity County could see a better chance, especially for late in the day on Sunday. Snow levels are also dropping significantly. By the time we do get into next week, we could see snow levels as low as 2,000 to 2,500 feet, especially as we go into your Tuesday and Wednesday. That's a look at your Krueger's Quick Cast. Let's get you into your deeper dive. But before we do that, here's what we're going to be talking about. Drier and warmer through Saturday, and in some cases, even through the weekend. Valley highs mid to upper 60s for today and tomorrow. So it's going to be more spring-like again. Rain and mountain snow returns Sunday and especially next week. And snow levels are going to impact that mountain travel. So a lot to talk about in your Deeper Dive forecast, which is sponsored by Shasta Hearing Aids.
Hearing loss can creep in little by little until one day you realize something's been missing. It's not about things being louder, it's about the moments that slip by. The joke you didn't quite catch, the quiet I love you, or the conversations with your kids that deserve the full attention. At Shasta Hearing Aids here in Redding, we believe hearing aid care should feel personal. Through compassionate care, a comprehensive hearing aid screening, and technology tailored to your lifestyle, we help you reconnect to what matters most. Schedule your free hearing aid evaluation today.
All right, so the storm system that brought us the rain in the last few days, that's starting to move on out of here. So the rain is pretty much moved on out of here. We've got some clouds off to our north and west right here that'll clip Northern California, mainly in the form of some high and mid-level clouds, but obviously no rainfall. That storm system right here is staying well to our north. High pressure is going to be building in over the next few days, and that's going to give us those warmer temperatures. And by the time we get into Saturday, we're transitioning back to a cooler and wetter pattern. So there's Saturday. The ridge that's over over us or will be kind of building into our region will be here for today and tomorrow, but that pushes off to the east by Saturday into Sunday. This actually kind of dives to the south, kind of moderates a bit, so snow levels will start off a little bit higher on Sunday than earlier anticipated. But as mentioned, and when we look at Futurecast, you'll see that the timing is kind of being pushed back a little bit here for Sunday's rain. It's going to be more early next week that we really start to see the pattern begin to kick in. Colder storm systems, lower snow levels, often on rain, often on snow, and then maybe a bit of a break for the end of next week around Thursday, Friday. But you can see another cold storm system that may impact that next weekend again. So yeah, we've got kind of just one storm after another moving in over the next 7 to 10 days. And there will be some breaks in between. So here's a look at Futurecast. As mentioned, we're going to see drier weather today. Some clouds developing in the mountains, maybe even parts of the valley as well, but it will be overall a dry day. Fog, as you can see here along the coast, continue with the dry conditions, and I do expect more sunshine and as a result, maybe even warmer temperatures, upper 60s possibly for parts of the valley. The rain is kind of hovering to our north and west. It's really having a hard time kind of moving on in here for Saturday. So Saturday will remain dry as well. We'll probably start to see some more clouds in advance of it. Now the low pressure system, as you saw, is going to kind of dive down to the south first, moderate a little bit, kind of warm up, and then move itself to the east. And that's why I'm anticipating that once we get that first push of moisture coming in Sunday, snow levels will probably be a lot like what they were over the last few days, probably somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 feet. But eventually you can see it just slowly, but see how it's still kind of pushing down to the south and east. So we've still got to get that thing to kind of push off to the east. So the timing of this is something we'll be adjusting over the next few days, but I am calling for a chance for showers basically, especially late in the day Sunday, for the valley northward into Siskiyou County westward through the day on Sunday, especially the afternoon. But then I'd say that it's probably still going to be dry through the day on Sunday off to the east. So we'll watch that. So the timing is something I'll be adjusting, but it looks like really the main event, really when things start ramping up, is going to be early next week. So the colder air, that's moving on out. That's the system that brought us the rain and even the higher elevation snow. This is the warmer air over the next few days, but the good news is, as you can see, it's being pushed off to the east. That's going to allow these storm systems. But again, you see how this thing just kind of lingers and has a hard time moving in, but eventually it kind of joins forces with some colder air. So we see these really pulses of colder air coming in from the Gulf of Alaska and really even Canada. And that's the source of that colder air. And that's really going to drop those snow levels as we go through next week. There's that bit of a break here for Thursday, Friday, but there you can see another cold storm system that could impact us into that next weekend as well. Of course, it comes to no surprise that the Climate Prediction Center has got us in the cooler than normal conditions as you saw that colder air coming in from the north. Now, the 10-day trend, we're getting a bit of a spring-like break, if you will, for a couple of days for Thursday, Friday. Saturday is a bit of that transition. Really, the weekend is that transition period from the drier and warmer to cooler and wetter, because you can see upper 50s. Mainly dry for most of the weekend. And then again, as I mentioned, it's early next week that we really start to ramp up that activity here starting Monday and then through next week. As mentioned, maybe a bit of a break Thursday, Friday, and maybe some more showers. Bottom line, you can see just how much cooler it is as we go through next week. Lake levels are still very healthy. I mean, we're still seeing these percentages drop a little bit, even those historical averages, but keeping it above 100% is always a good thing, right? All right, let's take a look at those wave heights, and you can see, yeah, they're increasing a little bit here as we go into Friday and even into your Saturday. No small craft advisories, at least for today. But you can see those winds are picking up a little bit from yesterday afternoon from the north at about 10 to 15 knots. Here's your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Well, of course, we're looking at a dry and mild day today for Trinity County. You're talking temperatures mid-50s on average. Dry through Saturday, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. There's that chance for rain. Look at the snow levels. They're dropping. Look at the temperatures. Only in the low 40s for your daytime highs as well. Some people have been asking, are we going to see snow in Weaverville or Hayfork? Listen, we can't guarantee that at this point. It's still too far out. But, you know, we could be looking at, based on the current trends, it's not out of the question for places like Weaverville and Hayfork to see some snow. To even start projecting how much that would be, It would be a disservice to tell you that at this point because we just don't really know 100%. There you can see the drier conditions here through Saturday, but Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, that chance for rain does kind of kick itself in for the coast. Otherwise, we're dry today, 60 for Smith River, 58 degrees for Gasquet, and 56 out in Hoopa. For Siskiyou County, you've got temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s for your daytime highs. By Sunday into Monday, you're seeing that chance for rain and snow begin to kick back in. Temperatures 40s and 50s for Modoc County, most likely dry through the weekend as well as the eastern mountains before, yes, that snow begins to kick in here by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Your valley neighborhood forecast to the south, temperatures in the low 60s. A little bit warmer, I think, by the time we do get into Friday. Your Valentine's Day should be dry with a high of 57. I've got showers in there for Sunday. Keep in mind, if that happens, it'll be late in the day into Sunday night. More likely Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with that wet weather. 65 degrees for Redding, 64 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake, and out towards the Red Bluff, a high of about 63. There's your 7-day forecast for Redding, and you can see Valentine's Day. Yeah, don't forget, it's Valentine's Day on Saturday. And of course, we get that wet weather kicking in, especially by next week. All right, I'll be back again at noon for the latest Check Your Weather. Have a great morning.
When you see flashing lights, someone's life depends on us.
And while we're out helping crash victims, we need your help to keep us safe. Move over, slow down, it's the law, it protects everyone.
Our crews are out here every day, keeping the roads safe for you and your family.
We're often the last ones on scene, and we want to make it home safe too.
Protect those who protect you, slow down and move over.